So hello Libra, and welcome to my sign by sign insights that will move from lunar cycle to lunar cycle, beginning today with the Taurus new moon, and we are having this huge seismic shift as Uranus changes signs just hours after the new moon energies peak. And this is a really significant one for you, Libra, because Uranus has been in your opposite sign. So for 7 years, he's been in Aries and he's been challenging you. He's been in your 7th house of relationship, creating disharmony, disruption, perhaps some breakdowns, perhaps some breakthroughs in the areas of how you relate to other people and how they relate to you. So this has been a challenging energy for many Librans, because the Libran tendency is to keep the peace, to find the balance. Libra is Venus ruled. Libra is the sign of the other, of relationship. Aries is the sign of self, and combined with Uranus has been a very independent seeking, autonomous energy. So you have really been on a journey of finding who you are within and without relationship. It's been about you finding your authentic truth and being unafraid to speak up, to create the revolution, to make changes, which doesn't come so naturally to you, Libra. So this has been a huge journey for you, and now Uranus shifts into your 8th house, your 8th house of soul bonding, of intimacy, of sacred sexuality, of psychological shadows and alchemy. So this is an energy that will ask you to kind of liberate yourself from the shackles of conformity, liberate yourself sexually, mentally and emotionally, to really call you to embrace your inner wild man or wild woman. It's an energy that can bring huge psychological breakthroughs and transformations. So any fears that you have around intimacy, around connecting with others, will now come up to be broken through. And the new moon, of course, is also in this sign, in this house of your birth chart. And this gives you an opportunity to set your intentions around what you wish to heal over the coming 7-year cycle. So seed your desires, seed what you are calling forth for the next 7-year cycle in these areas. Today, Libra, call forth your highest, most authentic expression of your emotional energy. So that's a really significant change that we start the month with for you. And then we are moving into a bit more of a flowing, watery energy as Jupiter and Neptune align in a trine. So these two have been in, coming close to an exact alignment all month, and it becomes exact on the 25th of May. And this is a really beautiful, fluid, flowing energy. And it's going to be moving from Jupiter in your 2nd house, where he's been since October last year. And he's been really calling you to learn how to expand your finances, expand your resources. He's been calling you to own your own value, to own your gifts and talents, so that you can create more of what you want in your life, more joy, more pleasure and more abundance. So he will be aligning with Neptune, who is currently in your 6th house of day-to-day routines of work. And later in the month, these two are going to come into a trine with Venus in Cancer in your 10th house of career and vocation. So this creates a really, really beautiful portal of energy for you, Libra, where you can start to see the results of some of the work that you've been putting into to really honor and love yourself, and see how that is reflected in your career, in your reputation, in your work life. So you may find that some extra abundance comes to you. You may find that people are sharing more love and appreciation with you at this time. And for all of us, this will be a period of deep soul emotional healing. So this is a beautiful energy for us to open up, to receive the wisdom, to receive the inspiration of the cosmos. So from then we move into a beautiful full moon in Sagittarius, the sign of authentic truth, the sign of new knowledge, new wisdom, of expansion of the mind. And this is taking place in your third house of communication and of networking. So if there are still residual things that you need to say, that you need to get off your chest at this time, Libra, this will be a good time to do it, to allow yourself to really feel what is true for you and to share it with the world. The Gemini house, the third house, is all about the throat chakra and the expression of our innate wisdom when we have Sagittarius on the cusp. So this is a good time for you to be sharing your knowledge with others. You may feel the need to teach, to learn, to share your words of wisdom with the world at this time. You may also find yourself looking at some of your thought patterns and thinking, you know, is this really true for me now? I've believed this for such a long time, you know, this has been my truth for as long as I remember, but do I still believe it? Is there some way that I can be more open and more flexible and take on a new attitude or a new belief system that might support me better? So we can go through a little bit of a mental cleansing at this time as well for you, Libra, which will work in tandem with that Uranus in the 8th house energy, which is kind of shaking your psychological foundations, shaking, you know, your beliefs around intimacy and relationship, shaking up some of the darkness, some of the fears, some of the shadows from the past. So this is an ideal moment to let all of that go. And this can also be a very celebratory point in the month. You know, we're coming up to summer solstice, the energetic peak of the year here. And Gemini is such a sociable sign. The third house is such a sociable energy. And the Sagittarian vibration is joyful, it's hopeful, it's optimistic. So this is a moment of expansion for you as well. So you may feel, like I said, called to come out of the closet a little bit at this time and to mingle and to socialize and to have a little bit of fun in amongst all of the emotional stuff that's occurring this month too. So for you, we're going to end this month with a new moon in your 9th house in Gemini, and the sun's going to be moving into this section of your chart from the 20th of May. Mercury's going to be there from the 29th. So this is very much associated with the energies that we've already discussed about mental expansion, new ideas, new beliefs coming through for you. So this is an ideal time to go deeper into your spiritual practice, an ideal time for you to pay attention to the wisdom of the cosmos, the synchronicities, the signs, the omens, the messages that are pouring into your life at this time, and then we can put them into action in your career a bit later on when the sun moves into Cancer at the summer solstice. We've also got Mars in his retrograde shadow throughout this lunar cycle, and that's going to be in the 5th house for you. The 5th house is also related to romance and sexuality and joy and pleasure and fun. So it may be time to review some of your programming, some of your patterns around how you express your creativity, how you express your joy, at this time. So just pay attention for what is rising for you in that area, because it's going to come up to be worked over during the next lunar cycle when Mars officially stations retrograde. So I pulled a card for you as well, Libra, from the Sacred Rebels by Alana Fairchild. Perfect energy for Uranus, the rebel of the cosmos. And this card is just such a beautiful confirmation about everything that we've said, about your mind expanding and the inspiration pouring in for you this month. The card is actually called Inspiration. And I love how she's got all of these honeybees buzzing around her. You know, they're reminding her of the sweetness of life. They're reminding her of the importance of working together in community, sharing our ideas, sharing our truth, which is very much connected with the Sagittarius and Gemini energies that we work with towards the end of May and the beginning of June. So I hope that this has served you, Libra. I hope you find that helpful, and thank you so much for listening, and have a blessed lunar cycle.